More recently, there have been some reports to the effect that Biden is increasing the level of provocation by saying, in effect, go ahead and hit Russia in the interior with weaponry supplied by the United States. I mean, it reminds me of, you got a big burly bully, that's Putin, and let's say he's in a fight with a little guy, but behind the little guy is a big guy, kind of egging him on and handing the little guy a stick and going, go beat the big guy. Well, at some point, the big guy recognizes that I'm going to go after the guy who's supplying the stick. Do you agree that that we are moving into a pretty dangerous situation vis-a-vis Russia? What should we be doing?
Look, as I've said before, all we're doing now is grinding up the next generations demographically of Ukrainian men into a rototiller of Russian artillery, and it is not in Ukraine's interest to continue a pointless slaughter. As for the NATO allies, you have Germany, which is the third largest economy in the world, and they're only spending like 1.2, 1.3% of their GDP on defense, even though this has been going on in Ukraine since February of 2022 for more than 2 years now. And so they haven't really snapped to. I was in Germany just a couple of weeks ago. Life is good, and people are out and about enjoying a beautiful spring, and they're not too worried about what's going on in Ukraine. And I think even greater worry should be that our weapon systems, the very overpriced U.S. tech, is not working that well on the front. And they're not even in super high demand because they're not that effective in many cases against the Russian electronic warfare, which jams the navigation signals and the command signals so that these weapons are not hitting. Our kung fu is not nearly as good as we think it is, and that should cause our Congress to withhold money and redirect it into more productive weapons development, especially cheaper, better, faster, because the Russians are getting a lot smarter from this fight, and I would say the Russian army is far more capable than we give it credit for. And for the Ukraine to try to just out conventional war the Russian bear is a fool's errand, because in a war of attrition, when you outnumber someone 3 or 4 to 1 with weapons parity at best, the bigger guy is going to win. And especially when the Russians have proven that they will spend millions of their people, as they did in World War II, for what they consider their vital interests.